Welcome to 805 Focus. I'm Dr. Cinder Sinclair with Nonprofit Connect, and we will be bringing you the latest on your favorite nonprofits, so get ready to be inspired. Our special guest today is Sue Eisaguirre, and Sue is the founder and executive director of NatureTrack and NatureTrack Film Festival. Welcome, Sue.
Thank you. Thanks so much for this opportunity.
Oh gosh, you folks have quite an endeavor there. I've been reading about it and hearing about it, and now I get to ask you, tell us about this wonderful organization that you founded.
Oh, thanks. I'd love to. Well, this is our 13th season of taking students ages kindergarten through 12th grade out on our local trails and beaches and giving them an outdoor experience where they can learn what they're trying to learn in the classroom. So we work in really small groups with our docents, and the students get their individualized attention that is great to have when they're outdoors.
Wow, 13 seasons. Do you mean like 13 years you've been doing this?
13 years. I founded NatureTrack in 2011, and that was November 2nd, and on November 3rd we were out on the trails with students.
Oh gosh.
And it's just growing every year. We now consistently reach a little over 5,000 students every year in providing them with an outdoor experience.
Oh gosh.
And the trips are aligned with the classroom curriculum, so we talk directly with the teacher. They tell us what they would like us to cover, and that's what we weave into the field trip throughout the entire day. So it's really a win-win-win. Win for the teachers, win for the students, and win for our natural environment.
Gosh, 5,000 kids. Man, you have been busy. So, okay, so I guess my first question is, so you founded it, and what led you to found the organization?
Well, I'd been doing something similar before, but I wanted to reach more students, and I couldn't do that where I was at that time. And it was actually my husband said, why don't you just do this on your own? And he bought me the book, How to Form a 501c3, and away I went, and that was February of 2011, and November we were on the trail, and by the following January I had our 501c3 certification, and I haven't looked back.
Well, so, good for you.
Yeah.
And so you work with the schools, and they refer the kids, and I love it that you work with the teachers.
Right. It's all done on a reservation basis, so they actually go online, the teachers do, that is, and make a reservation for their class based on what's available on the calendar. They give us the details. We do trips as many as 60 students at a time. Sometimes it creeps a little higher, but 60 is really a good maximum for us. But as I mentioned, we work in small groups with students, so we have one volunteer docent for every 5 students. So if we have 60 students out, we have at least 12, usually 13 or 14 docents available for that trip. The teachers have done their reservation, they've received their information from us. We have over 20 different locations that they can choose from throughout all of Santa Barbara County, all the way up to Guadalupe Dunes down to Carpinteria, inland trails, beaches. So it's really whatever fits best for their curriculum. And that's all online too. We make it very easy for the teachers because we have pages that show the different locations that also show the standards and that we can cover at those places. And so teachers can just simply highlight those forms and attach and turn in for their approval. But one thing I didn't mention yet, and first of all, they're cost-free, but we go beyond that. We even pay for their transportation. So the schools do not have any barriers at all. They don't have to cover the bus cost. We do that. The school still organizes their bus. They reserve it the way that they normally would for a field trip, and then they just invoice NatureTrack for those expenses. Wow. So there is absolutely no cost to the students, to the school.
And these docents are volunteers?
Yes, we have a pool of volunteers that are amazing, simply amazing. They're priceless and they're golden. And
yes, I can imagine.
Many are retarees. We are building back our college base of volunteers. Of course, COVID hurt significantly. But what's great is to see the students with a grandparent figure, if you will, because so often today we've moved away from our families, so you're not interacting with your grandparents the way we did years ago. And so not only are they outdoors with this grandparent figure, they're seeing somebody do something super cool, like Susie with the rocks and showing the rocks, and so it's just gives them a different perspective on that generational difference there. And so so it's really fun. And our volunteers get as much out of it as the kids, because we're outdoors for 4 or 5 hours with them, so we're getting all the benefits of nature as well. So it's a wonderful group of volunteers. We do, we have very few folks that accept it, but we do offer a stipend per field trip, because at this point too, with the price of gas, it's hard to ask somebody to drive 20-30 miles for a field trip and not offer something. And last year I've imposed that we also, regardless of if they're accepting our stipend or not, we will provide a gas card if they've volunteered for more than 3 field trips that month. So just something. When gas is $5-6 a gallon. So
so these docents, and if a person is interested in being a docent, being a volunteer, they can go on your website and find out how to do that. And you give them training, do you?
Yep, we offer NatureTrack, we offer docent classes throughout the year, but really people can come on board without any natural history knowledge, because what we really want them to do is to pique the students' curiosity and not just tell them what they know, because the kids aren't going to learn that way. But if they're curious, they're really going to learn. They're going to, they use all their senses when they're out on the trail. So we're touching leaves, of course, safe leaves. We're doing different nature games with them that get them to look really closely at things. They're journaling, and then they're figuring out what it is on their own. Now, so I say that because then volunteers don't need to feel, gosh, I don't have that knowledge, I can't possibly do that. But really just a few trips working with an experienced docent, seeing how we just work in the curriculum of what the teachers requested and do what we do with these nature games, and just getting the kids to connect to the natural world. Everyone can easily lead a trip and be out there. They have to have that love of the outdoors, and they have to enjoy students.
Kids. I'm really interested in that piece of equipment that the wheelchair goes on. Who thought of that, and how do you find them? And that's just wonderful.
So that's Freedom Tracks, is what the unit is. They are manufactured in Colorado. And we happen to find it because we have a volunteer who uses a wheelchair, and we had one particular gathering that he came to the event, and I didn't, I realized we wouldn't have steps, but I didn't think about the issue of getting through the mulch to get to the location. So again, my husband jumps in and says, you need to find something, and so we jumped online. Catherine, one of our volunteers, found Freedom Tracks. So our volunteer tested it out. We had one brought up from a dealer that is in San Diego. This was February of 2020. He was on Hendry's Beach for the first time since his accident in 1999, since the carjacking. And he grew up in this area, enjoying the beaches and the trails. So it was just amazing. But at that point, I thought, why would we just get one? Why wouldn't we get more? Because we found out too, we had a teacher that for 10 years booked field trips with us. She uses a wheelchair and she was never able to come. So now she has the choice, she could come. And how cool is that she can be out on the trail with her students. And we also now have more volunteers that use wheelchairs. And so it's an opportunity given to people who didn't think they could volunteer for such an organization. So we lend them out to individuals, we lend them out to other organizations that want to make their programs accessible for all abilities. And then we of course have our monthly trips. We also reach out to the senior living facilities and senior centers and offer trips. We were just at Lotus Land yesterday with residents of Mission Villa, and they've been on the beach with us also. In fact, in the video that you watched, the elderly lady was 98 years old and enjoying the beach that day. So, but yeah, right now we have 11 tracks. And we were fortunate to receive funding from the county to purchase 4 more that will be coming in early 2024. And so it allows us to have enough to have them out lend them out to individuals, and then have enough for our monthly programs that we run. Another story is two students were able to enjoy their year-end beach party. A lot of classes will do that, and in the past they've had to stay in the parking lot with their aides instead of being on the beach with their students.
Oh gosh.
So yeah.
That is just wonderful. And so you are a 501c3, as you mentioned, and so I would imagine you welcome tax-deductible financial donations.
Yes.
So a person can go on your website and make a donation that will help with all of this, paying for the gas and purchasing the equipment and all the things. I can't even imagine. You are a get-it-done kind of gal. It's amazing what you have accomplished.
Thank you.
And you really serve, your organization really serves all ages. You know, you started out serving kids, and you still do that, but now you serve seniors and people in the disability community and all.
Yeah, and we do that. So our K through 12 program was is during the traditional school day, so Monday through Friday. But with our Tracks program, it's 7 days a week. So yeah, we keep ourselves busy. That's for sure.
I can see that.
So
so Sue, tell us about your film festival.
Oh yes. So about 5 years ago. First of all, I love film festivals, and I started NatureTrack in Los Olivos, and I could see how the town would just be a wonderful location for a film festival where you could walk from venue to venue. Had the opportunity to go to other film festivals that was similar. So found 2 people that jumped on board to help me co-direct it, and they had the love of film and nature as well. And so it's an extension of our program so that we are actually now connecting more people to the natural world through igniting their passion for nature through film, and in hopes that as it builds and grows, it will become a sustainable funding source for NatureTrack. But right now, it is just part of our program. It's just another avenue of getting people to appreciate and fall in love with our natural world. So, and it's the first weekend of October annually, and right now it's in Santa Barbara. So,
all right, so a person could go on your website. Once again, they could find out the exact dates. They could find out the location, so they can put it on their calendar and show up.
Absolutely. And we also have a 5K. 5K and a fun run in October every year too, in conjunction with the Los Olivos Day in the Country. So if we've got runners out there, please jump in and run for NatureTrack.
That is great.
Yeah.
So this is so fascinating. Do you think that other communities have something like this?
There are other programs. I know that there are no other programs that provide the Freedom Tracks the way we do, and many of the other programs, they're not completely free or covering the transportation, but it is a model that could fit in other communities very easily, and I would love to grow it. It's finding that core group of volunteers in those areas and finding then a program director. So it is something that I've looked into, and hopefully someday we'll be expanding. Our Tracks program really expands beyond just Santa Barbara County, whereas our K-12 program is just within all of Santa Barbara County.
Okay, gotcha.
So, yeah.
So Sue, tell us another story.
Well,
I love your stories.
Thinking about the expansion of the Tracks program, a family had met us. We provide tracks for the Life Rolls On program, which is a wonderful program started for disabilities to surf and to also skateboard, disabled people to surf and skateboard. So anyway, the grandfather remembered that I'd said that we would lend these out. Well, this child is gifted and talented, invited to a sea camp but we're in San Diego, but he could not attend. They had nothing. They did not have beach wheelchairs, whatever. They could not accommodate him. So they came all the way up to Santa Barbara, borrowed a Trax, went back down, and sure enough, Albie was able to go to the sea camp. And he had a fabulous time, and I really enjoyed meeting him. But the whole family came to Santa Barbara, enjoyed camping at Refugio Beach. So, people coming to the town now have the opportunity to borrow these too, and so it's really a win for Santa Barbara as well.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, that is well, Sue, we have about 2 minutes, a little less than that. What else would you like our audience to know about NatureTrack and the film festival?
Well, of course, we do survive on donations, so that would be fabulous. We submit grants like crazy, but volunteers. We would love to welcome more volunteers. Our schedule filled up within 5 days of opening reservations. We have a waiting list. If we build our volunteer base even more, we will open up more days. One thing I'll say about our volunteers is our mantra is it fits around their schedule. NatureTrack does. So there are no set number of hours, no set number of days. The last thing I want is for somebody to feel like they have a job. It just needs to be enjoyable for them. So I hope that we can find more volunteers, and also with the film festival coming up, or attend the film festival and come run in the 5K. So, there's lots of ways to support NatureTrack, and every little bit helps.
Yeah.
So.
And I know I wanted to ask you. So I saw somewhere that you are in partnership with the Land Trust.
Oh my gosh, yes. The Land Trust since day one has supported NatureTrack in that we utilize many of their locations for our field trips. They have sponsored our film festival since the beginning, so that has been a wonderful relationship. In fact, the film that you watched, some of the clips were shot at Arroyo Hondo Preserve.
Oh golly.
So.
Well, it's such a wonderful work that you're doing that touches so many lives in a profound way. So thank you for coming on our show to tell us about it, and thanks for doing all your great work.
Oh, well, thanks for this opportunity.
And thank you for joining us on 805 Focus, and we'll see you next time.